into the NFL now, because it was a big week for New York football last week in the sense of the New York Jets taking down the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles in a game that I did not see coming. 20-14, the Jets get it, and they not only do it, but they do it in dramatic fashion at the end in the fourth quarter, scoring a touchdown and then picking the ball off 3 times from Jalen Hurts, who hasn't had his best bit of football in the last 2 weeks, I would say, and especially not against the Jets. He really wasn't up to his best standard. But even without Sauce Gardner, even without Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback position, I like the Jets in that Sunday night game, man. I did not think that they were going to be able to pull that off, and they did. I think obviously it's the biggest win of the year for the Jets. There's no argument there. But is this enough now to go and say we have enough momentum to charge up in the AFC East? I know the Miami Dolphins are there, but with 7 teams in the playoffs, the door's not closed on New York's finest.
No, I don't think I think playoffs is still a possibility for this team. When you look at how they've played against their last few opponents, Chiefs, Eagles, they kind of, their defense is just one of the best in the league. They've stopped everyone. They're making elite quarterbacks look not good. They're stopped Jalen Hurts. I mean, he had 3 interceptions, which this was a big week for quarterbacks kind of not getting exposed, but like showing these elite quarterbacks when they don't have the best weapons around them, they kind of play like a league average quarterback. You know, Jalen Hurts, their run game wasn't there. He lost Lane Johnson, the right tackle, was one of the best.
Big loss.
One of the best in the league, probably going to be a Hall of Famer. And it kind of, once he gets pressure in his face, he wasn't good. He threw 3 interceptions against a Jets defense that was missing their top 2 corners. He led the team in rushing with 47 yards, and DeAndre Swift was a non-factor. And I think for the Eagles, this has kind of showed what they need to work on, is that if you can take away their running game, then that's a weak point for them. The Jets notice that this Jets defense, Jets D-line, is what's going to win them games. I think if this Jets offense can just be average, score 17 to 21 points a game, they'll be a playoff team. Zach Wilson just needs to not lose them games. I mean, they scored 1 touchdown in the game versus the Eagles, and it came off a interception that went to the 5-yard line. You run it in. But either way, that is a huge win, going to 3-3 before the bye. If you told a Jets fan after Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles at 4 plays in the game, you're going to be 3-3, beating the Eagles after going into your bye week, I think you're ecstatic. They would have been
absolutely.
I've got a stat.
Let's do it.
Let's hear it.
I've got a stat. The New York Jets have scored 1 first-half touchdown all season. The New York Jets.
Giants have none.
The New York Jets have allowed 0 second-half touchdowns all season.
That's insane.
I think.
Wow.
I believe that stat's correct. Yeah. But I love this Jets team. Love this Jets team. Zach Wilson's a good quarterback.
He is.
Zach Wilson is a good quarterback. He's not great, but he's an above-average, solid system QB.
So that was where the conversation was going to bring us next. It was always going to be about the quarterback. It's the Jets. Aaron Rodgers out 4 plays into the season.
So funny.
But
so funny.
But is there a timetable for that man's return somehow?
It's been crazy. He's on the turf already.
I don't think you can rely on him coming back.
No, what are we talking? He's on turf already after tearing Achilles. Achilles.
That's just like a 6th, 7th month recovery.
Yeah, he tore his Achilles from the distance from Mowgli Stadium all the way to MetLife. That was a huge rip. You could hear the pop.
Shredded.
I think that I genuinely believe that he could come back by Christmas.
No way.
No
chance.
He's on the field already.
Well, here's the crux of this discussion. You just a second ago were saying Zach Wilson's a good quarterback. Aaron Rodgers may not need to race back for this team to be successful.
No. Aaron Rodgers is leagues above Zach Wilson.
Oh, no, I'm not saying. I'm saying if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, he's the quarterback, bar none. Yeah. That's not a discussion. But are you going to try to rush the man back now, how old he is with his Achilles? But you can also, I know Zach Wilson didn't contribute to a touchdown against the Eagles in that win, but he was solid enough. They took care of the football. He's getting the job done to a degree now where every conversation, I feel like, for the past 3-4 weeks, once Rodgers went down, it immediately became Zach Wilson's not going to get us there. We need to start looking for other quarterbacks. People were throwing out names left and right.
Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick's name was brought up, and now it's been 3-4 weeks since then, and no one is talking about replacing Zach Wilson.
No, because he's been good.
He's good.
He's
letting him develop.
He's a
and assist
barometer
them.
quarterback.
Yeah.
He's the upside of how Josh Allen plays down to every quarterback that he plays against.
He's
Zach
the
Wilson
opposite.
plays up.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson plays up. But I just want to again touch on this defense. It's so good, dude. It's so good.
Even
They
without
have
their
two.
best.
They have two top 10 linebackers in the league, in my opinion, in C.J. Mosley and Quincy Williams. I also think that Quinnen Williams is the best defensive tackle in
top
the
three.
league. Top three. Has a case.
Yeah,
has a
definitely
case
has
for
a
the
case
crown.
for top five.
Has a
Or
case
top
for the crown.
best.
I mean, Chris Jones is also.
Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence is really good, but I really, really, really like Quinnen Williams. Sauce hasn't been playing to his fullest, but still a very solid corner. And I think that Brees is great.
Brees has stepped up.
Brees is great. You know what I mean? Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson's amazing. Actually, so much fun to watch.
They were the two top. They were the two best rookies last year, and they're on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Without the Rodgers injury, this is a very different conversation. The Jets are a playoff team. I think Miami's a fraud. And I think
we'll
that,
get into that.
and I think that the Bills have shown signs of really just sucking.
Definitely.
Yes,
the Bills have
The division
underwhelmed.
and the Patriots stink. They are. I mean, I had the greatest childhood of all time. You can never take that away from me. You'd never touch my 6 rings. 20 years of greatness since I've been alive. But
Wow.
the division is
I don't
wide
have a
open.
single championship in like any sport.
Yeah,
The
I got
division-
one of my life.
The division's wide open. Wide
I
open.
disagree with wide open.
You.
I believe the Dolphins. The
I
Dolphins.
think
The Dolphins are frauds. The Dolphins are frauds. They can't win on the. They can't win on the road.
Fellas, please, because we will talk about the NFL as a whole in a minute. We're keeping this to just the Jets. Dolphins, Eagles, we're going to talk about that. We're going to learn a lot about the Miami Dolphins
At the link.
this weekend. We're going to learn a lot about the Miami Dolphins.
At the link.
But as for the Jets, Jets, I think you can say this division's open in the sense that they still have a window. The window is closing on the Patriots week after week now.
It's closed.
It's closed.
Window shut,
Mac
locked.
Jones
Okay,
first
you
quarterback.
said it,
locked.
I did.
Windows shut, locked. The key is like at the bottom of the Quabbin Reservoir out in Grantham, Massachusetts.
That was
Such a garbage,
deep cut.
Such a garbage offense. I loved Bill O'Brien. And let me just go on a quick Patriots rant.
There you go.
Because
All yours.
This Felger and Maz out in New England. People calling for Belichick to be fired. Are you an idiot? He's made the most out of Mac Jones, who couldn't. Oh my God, Mac Jones, if he was a bouncer, couldn't throw a drunk guy out of a bar, let alone a football to a receiver. I mean, the guy cannot. And the way Ramondre Stevenson, like he can barely get through the middle of the pack, and Mac has no targets. The defense is underperforming. Juju Smith-Schuster should be
he's
flipping burgers
useless.
right now. I mean, the guy stinks. We were supposed to have the best safety room in the NFL. One of them's injured, one of them is underperforming, and one of them just got out of jail.
Yeah.
And Christian Gonzalez got
In the
hurt.
Jones brother, and Christian Gonzalez, who would have run defensive. I think he was on track to win defensive
100%.
rookie of the year. I mean, maybe that's a little biased. It's the reset button. It's time to hit the big red button. I think as long as the Kraft team is in ownership of this franchise, we will be fine. We will always try to win. The owner before the Krafts did not care at all. I've heard horror stories from my father and the generation before about going into late 90s games when Drew Bledsoe couldn't even see in the snow and they weren't even trying to win. You could barely fill half of an MLS stadium. They are the worst. I would rather watch a Giants game because at least I could laugh in my own misery at Daniel Jones getting sacked double-digit times against
I agree with
top,
that.
bottom
I agree with
half
that.
pass rushes. The Patriots are sad, and it's sad for me. But if I would rather be last than middle of the pack. Like I would
100%.
so much rather be in the position the Patriots are right now than the Raiders. The Raiders. What are they going to do?
They're also going to be a top 10 pick.
Really? I think
All right,
they,
well, then
they
how
have a
about-
weak second half schedule. They could be mid and not even get a top 20.
Well, how about we can debate on what is mid and what isn't mid in the NFL for a while. I mean, you could look at the AFC North. and kind of just pick and choose between those 4 teams there.
God, they're gross.
The point being, though, with the division looking the way it does in the AFC East, you are not thinking very highly of the Miami Dolphins at all. I think very lowly of the Buffalo Bills. I think we're all in agreement there. I think the Jets will eventually leapfrog the Bills based on the way that they've been playing football, based on the way that they've been defending. I don't think that's a big ask at this point. I do think it would be a big ask to see the Jets or any team in the AFC East catch up to the Miami Dolphins. But we will learn a lot.
Are they 5-1 now?
They're 5-1.
Yeah, they're going to be 5-2 after this week.
They could very well be 5-2 after this week. But, I mean, the Eagles, no one thought they were going to be 5-1 after last week. So we will see.